Aaron Ask America.
Welcome to Aaron Ask America. On today's episode, I am always excited to have people that I know, which is mainly everybody that I've had on here so far. But this week's episode, I have my father-in-law, Weldon. When you guys listened to the first episode with me and my wife, you got to hear my side of the story of me asking my father-in-law for my wife's hand in marriage. So this week, we plan on getting his side. So Weldon, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
Thanks for being a viewer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you comment on just about every single video that I've posted up on Facebook.
Yep. One with PT was probably the most enjoyable.
Not the one with your daughter?
Well, after my daughter.
I
found out things about him I never knew, which is cool.
Yeah, that's like literally the entire reason of me doing this show. As you heard me say several times, is getting people on here that we don't know who they are, hear their stories, and like with him and his dad, or his dad driving a school bus is something I didn't even know about him. But as far as with you, we've known each other for right around 21 years now.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying probably late 74?
Late 74?
2004.
I was like 74. I was like, whoa.
2004.
Yeah. So Christy and I dated a year and a half before we got married. So yeah, I think relatively quickly when we started dating, I remember meeting you at y'all's old apartment.
Yep.
And then it was off to the races from there.
The rest is history, as they say, right?
Yeah. So you've never been on a podcast
Never
before,
been on a podcast.
So let's start off with softball stuff, okay? You and I disagree on at least one big glaring thing. So, why out of all the bands in the world do you love the Beatles so much?
Just grew up with them. I mean, they were there all the time. Everywhere you turn, they were on. Either they were on the Ed Sullivan Show or somebody else's show. They were on the radio. Kind of give away myself. I used to go to dances at Sokol Hall when I was young with my parents. And during the intermissions, I had jukeboxes. So I would grab a broom and pretend I was playing guitar. So that's kind of where it started.
Nice. So I know the answer. I'm just asking just for interview purposes. But who is your favorite Beatle?
George Harrison.
And why?
He was a quiet Beatle. I think he was just as talented as the other two, but didn't get the attention. And I think he had it all together. I mean, he had strange religious beliefs, probably Eastern religion. Mm-hmm. But I think he had it all together. I think he understood that it wasn't all the things you could get in the world that really mattered, and that's why I think I single him out.
So after the Beatles broke up, would you say, of course, outside of John being murdered, but was he the least successful out of the members of the band?
Who, Harrison?
Yeah.
Probably Ringo.
You think Ringo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My interaction with Ringo has always been through Howard Stern, because Howard Stern would always play this audio drop of peace and love, right? Because he would say that all the time.
Yep.
But as far as George, the song that I know of his, because I listen to the 70s channel a lot, is it My Sweet Jesus or My Sweet Lord?
My Sweet Lord, yeah.
That's a really good song. I really enjoy that song.
It's a really good song. It's acoustic, which I never thought I'd say I like acoustic better than electric, but some songs acoustic just makes a song.
Yeah.
And it's a really good song. I mean, because I think he was trying to express his hunger for the Lord in the song. Because it says, I really want to see you, I want to know you.
Yeah.
So and it was the first non-Beatles song to hit number one.
Really?
Yep.
Nice. Because I couldn't. I mean, if you probably played I know Imagine, because that's a massive Imagine hit, or a huge hit.
Yep.
But as far as the rest of them, did Ringo even have a hit outside of the Beatles?
He had a few. He did It Don't Come Easy in 1971. Had Photograph. He did a remake of I'm 16.
Yeah.
I'm 16, you're beautiful in your mind. He probably kept the band together because he was just so easygoing that he tried to make peace among the other three members.
Yeah, and I know that Paul for sure is the most successful out of the remaining members of the band, right?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
what I think you've seen him at least from what I can recall, at least once at Jerry World.
Yeah, Alicia and I saw him at Jerry World.
Yeah,
We saw Ringo at Nokia, which is now some credit union theater. But we saw him, so it was pretty cool. I mean, I wish I would have got to seen George Harrison.
yeah. How long ago did he die?
2001.
2001. Wow, it
Yep.
doesn't seem like it's been that long
He
since
was
he's
like
been gone.
58 years old.
Yeah. And I know John, he was murdered, I think, before I was born, right? I was born in 81.
1980, I think, was when he was shot.
Yeah.
I remember that night well because I was watching Monday Night Football, and they interrupted it to say John Lennon had just been shot.
Wow. By some crazy religious guy, right? Wasn't it a religious dude or
Yeah, supposedly he had a copy of the book Helter Skelter.
which is Manson's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, it's strange.
And his name, they just made a movie about him, right?
Was it Chapman?
Yeah, Stephen Curtis Chapman. No, or is that a Christian singer?
Yeah.
But to go back to the Beatles themselves, what is your favorite album by them?
Probably like Abbey Road,
Which is their first album, right?
which is technically it's their last album, but the
Oh.
reason I like it because it has Something by George Harrison, and it has Here Comes the Sun, which is probably two of their best songs.
Yeah.
And Something is Leisha, and that's our song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to listen to that song then, because I mean, maybe I've heard it. I don't know. Because like, the songs that I can think of off the top of my head that I know from the Beatles is what Strawberry Fields,
Strawberry Fields.
Hey Jude,
Hey June, yeah.
Yellow Submarine,
I play that for Dexter.
yeah, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more that I know, or that I've heard.
Yeah.
But those are just the ones that are coming off the top of my head. I remember when they first released that CD, the anthology album.
Yeah.
Daniel, my best friend, immediately purchased a huge Beatles fan. You and
Oh,
him
wow.
would have gotten along.
We get along
Oh
good.
yeah, and it had that song "Free as a Bird,"
Yeah.
and I enjoyed that song actually.
I've never listened to that song.
Really?
I never have.
Because that was an exclusive to that anthology. I remember when he purchased it because I think I drove him down to Best Buy. Who goes to Best Buy anymore, right?
Yeah, you can't buy music anymore hardly.
And then we bought this. He bought the CD set because I think it was like a big rectangle. And the first thing he did is he wanted to listen to that song because it was exclusive. It had never been released before. And he just popped in. I was like, this ain't too bad.
Yep, that's where they did it. Recorded part of it while John was alive, and then went back and finished it, if I understand right.
I don't know anything about it. I just heard the song. I was like, it's not too bad.
Yep.
So your favorite song or your favorite album is, you said, Abbey Road. So when you say that was their last album, I could have swore. And again, I'm not a Beatles guy. You know that. So like I thought Abbey Road was their first album. What's the name of their first album?
Meet the Beatles.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So do you know how many albums they had in total? Because I know Sgt. Pepper.
Maybe 13.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. I was going to say I could probably name about half of them,
Yeah.
but I think I could say Sgt. Pepper. I knew Abbey Road.
Magical Mystery Tour.
If you wouldn't have told me that, I think I would have gotten to that because that was one. I think that was Daniel's favorite album,
Yep.
was Magical Mystery Tour, and then there was the White Album,
Yep.
and I think that's maybe where I blank out with
Yep.
the Beatles.
White Album was good too. That's when George had his first big hit, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Nice.
Nice song.
So Dexter and I were listening to the channel 70s channel, and hopefully you're like, my son-in-law is raising my kids right.
I love the
We-
70s music.
We were driving home yesterday from a Walmart because we had to go get something for the dog who's sleeping on her back now, which is hilarious. And Freebird came on, and like I couldn't remember if he had ever heard that song before. And then the long guitar beginning, and he sang some of the lyrics before the song began. I was like, okay, yes, he has heard this song. But I've listened to the '70s channel so much, him
Yeah.
and Elise should know some of the hits that continuously pop up on that
Talking
channel.
about Freebird by Skinnerd.
Yeah, yeah. There's no other Freebird that anybody should know other than that song.
Other than the guitar riffs, easy song to play.
Yeah. I remember the very first time I heard that song. It may make you laugh, but the very first time I heard that song was on Forrest Gump.
Oh
I had
wow.
never heard that song before until the moment where Jenny was about to jump off the ledge and she stops herself.
Oh wow.
When
Yeah.
she's doing that, it plays that song is playing in that scene. So
Wow.
yeah, that was the very first time. Forrest Gump came out like I think like '96 or something like that. I was like 14 or something.
Wow.
So my mom listened to what I don't even know what they're called now. Are they still called oldies?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom would listen to was it the 50s and 60s? I think those were called the oldies. So like I knew some music from there, but I didn't know anything from the 70s and 80s until I
Yeah.
got older. I personally fell in love with the '70s music from the movie Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if have you ever seen that movie?
Probably not.
Okay, the premise of it, I showed Dexter it over the summer. Premise of it is it takes place, of course, in the '70s,
Yeah.
and it's about there's multiple storylines going on in the movie, but it's a school in Texas. It was actually shot out by Austin, and it's these kids that are going from the 8th grade to the 9th grade, and these people that are going from the 11th grade to the 12th grade. So, they have these paddles, and like they would catch freshmen, and
Oh
they
yeah.
would, they
Yeah.
would, they would swat them, and it was about having this one big huge party because it was the end of school, and there was just a ton of '70s music in it. So I bought the CD and wore it out.
One of the best soundtracks, in my opinion, would
Yeah,
be Forrest Gump. Has
yeah.
some great music on it.
Forrest Gump had music from multiple eras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully got you loosened up
We're there.
for the questions now.
We're good.
So I know one of the things that you want to talk about, and I actually do not know this about you. Like, how did you meet your lovely bride?
Well, as strange as it sounds, it's actually a blind date.
Is a blind date.
A blind date.
So my wife is here because of a
A blind date.
How random is that?
Yeah. Well, the word story is like me and this other guy were trying to date the same girl.
Hmm.
So she said, "Well, I know a friend," and as they say, the rest is history.
Nice. So the girl that you and your friend were trying to date, did those two end up together?
They were friends. They were actually friends. Oh, the guy?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. But they're not 51 years together though.
Oh, I doubt it.
So where did y'all go on your first date?
That's really strange because her mom wouldn't let her go anywhere.
Hmm.
So I went over to her house. We were sitting in the living room. I said, "Well, let's go to Dairy Queen and get a Coke." Her mom wouldn't let her go, so I had to go to the Dairy Queen and get a Coke and come back.
So just for the younger group that's potentially watching this. So there was no cell phones. There
No,
was
no
no
cell phones.
anything. You meet her, and her mom's like, no.
Yep.
So you go to the Dairy Queen, get the drinks, and then bring them back. So
Bring
that
them
way,
back, yeah.
like that's a lot for a first date.
Yep, it was pretty cool.
And
Odd, but cool.
yeah, and was Ike there when you had your first date?
I didn't meet Ike for several months after that.
Oh, okay, okay. He was probably maybe out on tour.
He's out on the road,
Okay.
yeah.
So how does the first date even like? Do you sit in the kitchen and talk to Alicia, or is her mom there, or
Kind of in the living room on the couch.
how many dates did you have like that before you actually had to take her out?
Maybe 5 or 6 before she actually let me take her out.
Nice.
with a very strict timeline.
Right. You can take her to the Dairy Queen and come back.
You come back, yeah. Dairy Queen and back.
And when you come back,
I'm timing you.
and you better bring me an ice cream too.
Yeah.
Was that something that you did? Like when you went and got her a Coke, did you get Mom a Coke too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. You have to sweeten the pot.
Oh, absolutely. You win Mom over, she'll be on your side with the daughter.
Nice. So, how long did you and Leisha date before you knew that she was the one?
I think I knew she was the one. This is going to sound strange because her dad being in music, when he came home, I think the first time I met her, she sang a song, Come Walk With Me, that he had written.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that, I go, she might be a keeper.
Yeah.
Strange story, but true.
Yeah. Do you remember the exact like moment that you met Ike? And was he like old school, like what are your intentions with my daughter kind of, or was he, since you were kind of already a couple of dates into it, was he a little bit more relaxed or no?
He was kind of cool, but he was still a protective father.
Yeah. Old school dad.
Old school, yeah.
Sit outside with a shotgun.
It's like, what are your intentions, son?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the funny thing about it, when we were dating, we hated their front porch light. Because when it was time to come in, her dad would start flipping the porch light. We hated the porch light.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that'd be pretty annoying too, because you know that they know that both of y'all are there, and he's just like, all right, time to wrap this up.
Time to wrap it up and get in the house, girl.
How long did y'all date before you got married?
Probably a year or so.
Yeah, so kind of similar time frame, like Christian.
Probably.
What do you remember around what month that y'all started dating?
I want to say maybe summer of 75.
Okay. So that's more of, so like for me, it's really easy because Christy and I started dating in January, so I can remember that. That's super easy for me to remember. It's like we just started off the new year.
New year off right.
Yeah. So you meet her, y'all start dating, and then like, did you ever, like while y'all were dating, did you play with Ike at all?
I never played with Ike.
Like
After we got married, he made me a reel-to-reel with his songs on it. And tried to show me how to play it, but I'm not that good at playing. I have to have the chord progression in front of me to play.
So I'm not musically challenged. Like I don't have any. So what does reel to reel mean?
Reel to reel is like, a cassette tape.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but it's a big reel, and they recorded music on it back then.
Like the big circular things.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said he made a reel to reel.
He made one for me and said, "Here."
Does that mean that it was just like him playing, and you were supposed to play with him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was a fantastic guitar player.
Was he?
He blew me away. He played chords I had never seen, because rock music's basically 4 or 5 chords and it's all simple.
Right. But his was not, right?
No, it's like I'd never seen chords like that before.
Well, what style, for the people that don't know anything about Ike, like what style did he play?
Southern gospel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Southern gospel is like complex notes?
His music was.
Okay.
Yeah, I look at his songbook today and go, what?
Because when you look at music today, it all, especially in the Christian realm, that all kind of sounds the same,
Yep.
right? For the most part, it's all
Yep.
super simple. But when you open up his book, I'm taking your word for it because I don't know. Because when I look at notes, I'm just like, okay, I know that those are notes, but I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like you have Dexter who sings, you had Brett, you have Christy that sings, you have Elise that sings, and you have me being like,
We play the radio, right?
yeah. Good job, everybody. I'm glad everybody can
Yeah.
sing.
That's one of the joys in seeing, the singing come from Ike and go down the line.
There's no doubt that he, God used him to start something awesome that hopefully will continue through until Jesus comes back.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I know that he died, I think in mid
92.
92.
Yep.
So that's way far away from when I could have met him, but he seemed like a pretty interesting dude. So I would have loved to have met him. But
Oh, absolutely. He was cool and down to earth.
yeah. And I just know very little about him through the memories that I've heard Chrissy talk about,
Yeah.
through what y'all have said, through what Steve said when he was alive. So that's all I can go by. And then the big red book that's got
All his songs
all
in
this
it.
music in
Yeah.
it. There's a singer that's coming to town. I would love to. I guess he's not as popular as I thought he was, but like
Okay.
he's coming to town. I was like, I would want to just give him that book and say, here, like I don't have the rights, but like if you want to turn this in, if you want to, modernize it, I think that'd be kind of cool. But I know that probably would never happen.
That would be cool. Alicia always wanted her dad to reach out to Elvis because Elvis loved gospel music to
Yeah,
record maybe one of his songs, but he never did it. But Elvis could sing anything.
yeah,
And the only awards most people don't know that Elvis ever won was for gospel music.
yeah. And the biggest song that Ike had was "Very Special Grace."
Very Special
Yeah.
Grace. Yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to Google "A Very Special Grace," you'll find him. It's a really good song because when we went to church together at the other place, about, I don't know what, maybe about once every 2 months, Alicia would sing that song.
Yeah.
And, the lyrics still ring true today, like most music from back then.
Yeah. That's the thing about music. It's timeless. That's like I grew up with. Once I got saved, I got into Dallas Home was the first Christian music I listened to. And he would probably be my generation's Chris Tomlin
Mm,
to kind of make a comparison. But got to meet him at Bethesda several years ago. Down to earth guy.
yeah.
Bought a 12 string because of him because I thought they were cool and they sound really great.
So I'm going to assume that 12 string means that there's 12 strings on the guitar.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
the regular guitar has 6 strings.
Has 6, yeah.
So why would you go from a 6 to a 12? Does that make things more complicated?
It doesn't make it more complicated. It just sounds better because the top 4 strings are tuned a key higher than the bottom strings. Like a guitar is E, B, G, D, A, E. But then on the 12th string, you have those 6, but then you have the other 6 tuned up an octave higher. So it just sounds fuller.
You have more of a range of sound.
Yeah, it sounds like you're playing 2 guitars at once.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Because when I think of that, I think it was Dwight Yoakam. The guitar that he had was like a bigger guitar and it had 2.
2 necks.
Is that a 12
Yep.
string?
No.
Oh, but it's similar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because when you said 12 string, I was thinking. So I guess the width of it's longer.
It's the neck. It's a little bit
Or
wider.
The neck, yeah.
Yeah. So but when they're tuned, they sound so sweet.
Yeah. So back to you meeting your wife. Because we're going to get to our conversation in your white truck 20 years ago, or I guess technically 21 years ago.
21 years ago.
So when you knew that you were going to ask Alicia to be your wife, when you went to Ike, how did that conversation go down?
I was intimidated, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it, we were sitting in church of all places. And I go, we got to go talk to your dad. So we did. And I just told him, I love your daughter and I'd like to marry her. And we want your blessing. He goes, okay.
So, one thing that just popped in my head real quick. So, how tall was Ike? I don't know anything about the guy. I just never even thought about asking Chrissy this question until now.
Maybe 6 foot.
So he's tall like Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
About like Steve.
Kind of, was he built like Steve too, like the
Yeah,
broad
yeah,
shoulders?
husky.
Okay, yeah, that is kind of intimidating walking up to that dude.
And here I was like a 120-pound kid. It's like
Did you have the long hair back then too?
I had long hair back
back
then.
then?
When I could grow hair.
And you're like, hey, Mr. Ike, can I marry your daughter? I love her. Did he marry y'all?
He didn't. The church we were going to was a friend of his, and the pastor there married us.
Okay. So he just got to sit back and just be cool with it and watch everything.
He actually sang at our wedding.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Do you remember what song that he sang?
It was a wedding song that he wrote for Steve and Regina's wedding. And
Nice.
he actually sang it at our wedding too. And Steve and Regina's sang at our wedding as well. So,
Wow,
so we,
action packed
so we had
family.
a musical wedding.
Yeah, I did not know, but I guess I should have that they were married before y'all. So they had gotten married way before y'all did.
Maybe a year or two.
A year or two.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long did the engagement last?
Maybe a year.
Okay, so you dated for a year and then you were engaged for a year.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think what we dated for just under a year because we started dating in January and then Brett proposed for us in December and then we were married by April 30th.
Yep.
So it was pretty quick. So you walk in the back, you're like, "Hey, I love your daughter," and he's like, "Cool," and then preparations begin.
Yep. But the funny thing, he says, "Okay, go back to church." that was his reaction. Okay, go back to church.
He's like, "Yes, you have my blessing. Now go back to
Now
church."
go back to church. Yeah.
Hey, man, old school stuff, right? Old school, because he was a preacher too, right?
Yes. Songwriter, evangelist,
Songwriter, evangelist, and tour.
preacher. Yeah.
Yeah. So he would go from church to church, singing music, selling cassettes, and preaching.
Yep.
That's a phenomenal legacy.
It's kind of cool
Yeah.
when you think about it.
Yeah, because one of the things that growing up in I know that y'all weren't in the Baptist circle, but growing up in the Baptist circle, like you would have people. I think his name was Ralph Green. He was like a traveling evangelist, and anytime that he would show up at the church, got excited because he had such a phenomenal voice, and
Yeah.
he would sing a couple. I mean, at the end of the service, they were always hawking stuff, of course, because that's the whole point of being an evangelist. Outside of giving the gospel, you need to feed your family.
Oh yeah,
But like he
absolutely.
would show up, and if you buy one tape, it's $5. If you buy two tapes, it's
Two for 10?
Yeah, 2 for 10.
3 for
Yeah,
10.
yeah, something like that. So my dad would always buy him. I think his name was Ralph Green. I forget.
Yeah.
He for sure passed on since then. And then there was another guy that would always come. I think his name was Clyde Creel. I think his
Yeah.
name was too. Old guy back then. That was 100 years ago. This guy was old, so he's probably in heaven now too. And my dad would eat up those cassettes. I think there were cassettes back then.
Yep.
And I think
Wear 'em out.
Yeah, wear them out. So anytime that you had like an evangelist singer show up, it was always, especially if you knew the guy coming into it. So having somebody in the family tree now that used to do that, it's just kind of cool to me.
Yeah, it was always fun when we got to go with him because we always felt like we were kind of special because we knew him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So did you ever go with him to a church and set up the table and sell the cassettes or records or whatever he sold at all?
I did not. Grace did that.
Okay. Did he sell shirts? Were shirts a thing back then?
No, I think the only thing he had a bumper sticker
Okay.
one time that said ID, which meant identification with Christ.
So at ID Christ?
Yeah. And then I think he had a Air of God sticker. That's the only two I remember other than the music and the
Nice.
songbooks.
Okay. So he sold songbooks too?
Yep.
That's that red book?
Yeah, the
Those
red
are the
book,
ones that
yeah.
he sold? Okay. Nice. So, all right. So let's get to our conversation.
Okay.
I remember, so when Christy and I were serious, and before I ask, she was living with, I want to say Rachel. I think she was living with Rachel, and then we were getting serious. She had some debt. I had some debt. And I told her, just like I said, if I'm going to go into this relationship, with no debt, we need to make sure that so when we get married, we don't have debt, and even now we don't carry hardly any debt.
Yeah.
20 years later, and so we were moving her into your and Leisha's apartment.
Yep.
And from my perspective, like I was like sweating bullets because I was in the passenger seat, right? And I assumed that because I don't remember every single thing about our relationship to that point, but like I knew you liked me, I think. So, but still, just asking the question and having the conversation with you. I don't know how well you remember that day or not, but I remember us being at the stoplight.
Yep.
Whenever I brought it up, but so like how far in advance did you know that conversation was probably going to happen?
We probably knew it was coming when Chrissy moved back home. It like sums up because she'd always been independent. It's like, why are you moving back home, dear?
Yeah.
Not that we don't want you here, but
Yeah.
What's up? We kind of knew something was up. So
So she didn't say, "Hey, Dad, he's probably going to ask you. Don't be rude." She didn't say anything like
don't
that.
throw him out of the truck on the
Don't throw
way
him out of
home.
the truck. Yeah.
She never mentioned anything.
Wow.
We just kind of figured.
Yeah. I mean, you see people dating for a while, kind of like with Brett and Nicole. They've been dating for a while, and then, a while is going to hopefully turn into something long term
Yeah.
as far as marriage goes. So, but like whenever I think we were delivering her mattress, I think. So I'm in the truck with you, and like, do you remember like me saying anything to you, or like, do you remember anything about that?
I think it was actually at the stop sign, like you said, where you go, there's something I need to ask you. And it's like, okay. And then I want to marry your daughter. Can I have your blessing? It's like, okay. But I really liked that because it showed that you respected us as much as her.
Yeah.
And I hate to use the word old fashioned, but I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. You do a lot of things early on in life where you mess up and you don't do the right thing. And, whenever I ask Brett's biological mother, I didn't talk to anybody, I just did it, right? And then I learned a lot from that huge ordeal that happened that night. So I knew that the next time that this was actually going to be a real thing, that I was going to try to do everything the proper way,
Yeah.
because I didn't tell my parents. The only person that knew was her mom, because she told her mom everything. And the way that I did it, I don't know if you know the story or not, but like it was on Valentine's Day, and my youth group was important to me, so I wanted to propose in front of the entire youth group.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
my parents were the youth directors, so they're sitting there, and like in my brain, in my 18-year-old brain, where I'm just like, hey, this is the smart thing to do, right? And as soon as I asked, she said yes, and then everybody clapped, and my mom was gone.
Oh, wow.
She was so mad because she didn't, she felt betrayed and all that sort of stuff. And I should have known from that point on there was problems. But yeah, but I knew that after that whole situation totally and utterly fell apart, and started putting myself back out there on the dating scene. I knew that, okay, if anything got serious, we were gonna include all the family members. So like when Christy and I first started having the conversation about getting engaged, sat my parents down. I was like, okay, nobody knows anything. I was like, I want you guys to be the first ones to know this is my intentions with Christy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's how it went. So like whenever it wasn't even a question that I wasn't going to include your blessing into it, because it's customary, right?
Yep. Well, nowadays it's not, but
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
most part, it's not. It's like we're getting married. You guys like it or not?
Yeah. Brett actually asked Nicole's. I don't know if he asked her biological dad or her stepdad or both,
Yeah.
but he did that too. So everybody knew that he was going to ask when he did. So the funny thing about him is, I don't think you ever saw the video, because the video was so grainy and horrible. And like these phones, like we're streaming on phones, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a phone that's got this phenomenal camera, but like somebody was filming like across like a campfire. You couldn't really hear what was being said, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
grainy. I was like, who thought about this? Whose plan was it to do this? So,
Yeah.
but I just didn't know if Christy had mentioned something to you.
You remember where you proposed to Chrissy at?
Well, if we're gonna get technical about it, I never proposed to your daughter.
Oh, Brett did.
Brett did. So the way I did it was like, Brett was the bridge between us,
Yep.
right? So I don't know. I think you probably heard this story, maybe you didn't, but like whenever I would pick up Brett from the daycare or pick him up from my parents' house, because my mom was helping me because of my job, Brett would always have these wild stories like, today I went to the beach with Christy. Today I went to Disneyland with Christy. I went to the beach with Christy. All these crazy stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is Christy?
Yeah.
Because for me, like, if you ask Christy, like, I worked 11:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
I was a mortgage collector. Whenever I spend money on something, I want to get the maximum amount that I can out of it. So he was going to Bethesda, so I would literally wake up, drive Brett to the daycare, hand him off to Christy, get back in the car, and go back to sleep until it was time to go to work.
Yep.
Because my friends and I would stay up all night playing video games, right? So that's the reason what it was. So like I didn't know his teacher's name at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but to answer your question, it was at my parents' house
Okay.
that they currently live in now. And if you remember the structure of their living room, there's the couch that's up against the wall.
Yep.
And then there's the chair, the big chair. That's not there anymore, but like there was a big chair across. So like when you first walk in, you see the big chair. Christy sat down in it, and I had Brett get down on one knee and say, "Will you marry us?" So,
Oh, wow. How
yeah.
cool.
Yep. Because without him, then probably would have never happened, right?
Yep.
Because I don't think I would have ever run into your daughter, ever.
Without Brett.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you with your blind date, me with the random kid that we put in Bethesda, and the main reason why I put him in Bethesda was because it was closest to my job.
Wow.
That was the only reason he was there, was because like Bethesda's here, and then you go down to Mercantile or Mercantile. You take a right and you go all the way down, and that's where Saxon Mortgage used to be.
Yeah, off of Meacham, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Meacham, not Mercantile.
Had to
Yeah.
stop and think. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I said Mercantile, but I meant Meacham. You're right. So it's like you take a right on Meacham, and there's a whole bunch of buildings over there now, but there used to be this one standalone building really far down from the road, and that was it.
Wow.
Used to go there. In fact, when Christy moved in with y'all, I had gotten her a job at Saxon because she was getting paid a whole lot more working at Saxon
Oh, absolutely.
than being a daycare teacher, because
Yep.
she had a little bit of debt that we wanted to get rid of before we got married.
Very wise.
Yeah. Yes, I have my moments. I tricked your daughter into marrying me and then got rid of her debt.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I remember where I proposed to Alicia at. It was at Spanish Galleon over off Forest Park and 30.
What is that?
It was a fish place.
Mm.
So one Sunday after church, I proposed to her. And needless to say, she said yes.
Mm. Was it just you and her, or was
Yep, just
okay.
us.
Was it before you ate or after you ate?
Probably before.
Okay.
It's like, I can't tame the pressure. Let's get it over with.
Oh, okay. So you're just like, were you in the parking lot?
No, we were probably waiting for the food to come.
Okay.
It's like, hey,
Did you hop down on one knee?
I did not.
You were just like,
Yeah, that's afraid I couldn't get back up.
now this is when you were younger. You could have gotten back
I
up.
could have gotten
Yeah,
back
you could have
up.
gotten back
Yeah, I
up.
didn't get down on the knee, but it was probably the second best decision I ever made in my life. First being Jesus, of
Right.
course. But do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. I'd marry her again tomorrow without even thinking about it.
Yeah. Amen. I would hope you. It's after 51
Yeah.
years.
After 50 years, I better,
50
right?
years, yeah. Yep. We have large shoes to fill, because y'all are heading into your 51st year,
Be 50 next June.
50 next year, and I think my parents are about to be 49 years.
They're a year behind us, right?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 years behind
Yeah.
y'all. So it's just wild to think that like we hit 20 this year. So we're technically 30 years behind you.
30 years behind
They're
us.
30 years behind. So like we're like, yeah, we got some big shoes to fill, but just like with my parents and with y'all, we've kept God as number one in our life. Sure, there's been ups and downs as far as like the ebbs and flows of things, but that's just life. But
Oh, yeah.
I really don't think, to my knowledge, that ever since I married your daughter, there's ever been a time where we've been out of church. Now, has there been times where like I haven't been as active? Yeah, sure. But I don't. But I think that her, and me, and with Brett, I think we've always, when we first got married, we looked at multiple churches, and then
Yep.
we settled with Trinity for 5 years, and then Cross Point for 8, and then now we're here
Yep.
with Second Mile. So there's always been some sort of activity going on,
Yep.
and I think that's been part of the success.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
God, and then probably the next thing is being honest, even when it hurts.
yeah,
Alicia and I've always been honest to each other, and it's probably, to be honest, right now is a difficult time because her physical stuff she's going through. It's hard to just watch her go through that, knowing that I can't fix it.
yeah,
It's probably been tough.
yeah. But at least now, since you've been retired, you're able to be there for not only the doctor's visits, but just to be like a moral support for her as well.
Yeah, I try to encourage her. Probably not as much as I should.
Well, I mean, it's better than before because you're at work.
Yeah,
Now you're right next to her, and you can just be like, "You got this, baby."
yeah. It's like, what do you want to do today? That's what I love about being retired. What do you want to do today?
That's what's going to be my next question for
Yeah,
you.
I love it.
Because you mentioned it, because you retired, back in June?
June of last year.
June of last year. You're
Yeah.
coming up to, no, last year, so we're past June.
We're past
So
a year, yeah.
So you're a year being
Yeah.
retired, and your favorite thing is, what are we going to do today?
Yeah, what do we want to do today instead of what do we have to do today?
Yeah. So you wake up and you're just like, today I feel like I'm going to sleep till noon. You can do
Oh,
that.
absolutely. It's cool. And we have traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, before I retired, you know how big an Elvis fan she is.
Yeah.
I took her to Graceland for 2 of her birthdays. Won't go into the years because I know you don't mention years.
She's 21.
It's 21 and holding, yeah. I'm 25 and holding. But took her to Graceland. She loved it.
Yeah.
And the second time we went, took a side trip to Tupelo, Mississippi, which is where Elvis was born.
Oh, nice.
And I enjoyed Tupelo more than Graceland because Graceland, while it's good, is so expensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Because Graceland is what, just his house?
Just his house, yeah.
Just his house, and there's no rides or anything, is
No
there?
rides
It's
or
just-
anything. There's a great big entertainment thing across the street from Graceland where you can see his the cars and the suits and his gold records and all that stuff. But Graceland's just a house.
Yeah.
And when you look at celebrities today, Graceland's a disappointment, really.
Yeah, you think it's going to be like this big, huge 2-story,
Yeah.
craziness, but it's it's still a 2-story house.
Yeah, but it's,
It's probably like 2,000 square feet.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Not much bigger than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 2,000 square feet, which was huge back then.
Yeah.
So what's in Mississippi? You said that's where he was born.
Where he was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. They have his house, and then they have a great big park with statues of him, like his younger years, and then when he's Elvis the Entertainer, and then a statue of Elvis when he's 13 years old. We went to the store where his mom bought him his first guitar. We went to the restaurant where he used to go eat. Went to the fairgrounds where he did some of his first performances. So
Wow. So
she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a huge fan of Elvis, I don't even know why we haven't gone there. I think maybe we should go there
I'm
now.
figuring this. I'm surprised you haven't. Alicia, let's go to Graceland. She'd say yes.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've never wanted to go to Graceland. For one, I didn't do a lot of research to see what was there.
Yep.
But it sounds like if we're going to go anywhere, it'd be to Mississippi rather than Graceland.
Yeah, Tupelo, we enjoyed it because there's more history there. Graceland's just the house.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like
So when you go to the store where he got his first guitar, are you able to buy guitars, or is it more like a museum?
they used to sell guitars, but there's an X on the floor where his mom stood when she bought the guitar. So, and we had an ex NFL player that was our guide. He was cool. We just hit it off. He's a big Elvis fan. He knew stuff that we didn't know. He goes, "I'm going to take you to this place." and he talked to the owners of it was a hamburger place. He goes, "There's a couple sitting there, but when they move, we're gonna let you sit where Elvis sat when he was there."
Wow.
So, needless to say, Alicia ate that up.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was her favorite person for at least
Yeah.
a day.
At least a day and a half, and then you said something, and she's like, "I don't like you anymore.
I
Let's
don't
go
like
back
you
to
no
things."
more.
So, what did you think of the Elvis movie that came out a couple of years ago? The one I forget the guy's name. Where
With Austin,
Austin, yeah,
I enjoyed it. I don't think it was real 100% factual,
yeah,
but it was better than like I would never go see the Priscilla movie because I'm sure it's from her side,
yeah.
and Alicia's not a big Priscilla fan anyway. But
Yeah, it didn't. The movie did a good job of not really presenting Elvis as a good guy.
yeah,
It also didn't portray the his manager. I forget his name.
oh Parker,
Part,
yeah,
yeah, it didn't. Of course, he was a slimy scumbag like
oh
he was
yeah, he
supposed to
ripped
be.
Elvis off.
Yeah, so like you have, so he wasn't really portrayed as a good guy either. So um, I think they did a really good job because I mean Elvis was who he was, right?
Yeah, we all know he was no saint. None of us
Yeah.
are saints.
Yeah, that's the big that's a big thing you take from these celebrities, right? Is like they're just people. They're
Yep.
just elevated for to in our eyes because they make music or they're an actor or actress or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Still prone to the same things that we would. Like if we had that kind of money and that kind of power, there would be all those temptations
Oh,
that
absolutely. That's
yeah.
why I'm glad I never really made it big in music because the temptations are out there.
Bad enough being a middle class guy rather than actually having a little bit of power.
Yeah, and the things that people don't understand, the music industry is corrupt.
Right.
Because I don't know if you know our friend Bill, but he's told me stories of the recording industry, and they're not good.
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't want to sign a contract because once you sign a contract, they own you."
Yep. That's why things like YouTube and Spotify have become so big is you're able to have independent artists that can just be found or come out of nowhere
Yep.
and they own all of their own stuff because, like back in the 90s, it happened before, but that's just when I became aware of those sorts of things where you have like the rise of grunge metal,
Yeah.
like Nirvana, Bush,
Yep.
Korn, like Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, all that sort of stuff. Like basically the end of rock and roll, right? The
Yep.
last breath of rock and roll, to my knowledge,
Yeah.
was the '90s, and that was because of grunge. And like you have these people that are touring all the time because touring is where they make their money
Oh,
because
absolutely.
they don't make any money really off their album sales. You're like, what? How does that even work? But it's the studios.
Yeah, studios make the money. I mean, like a podcast, or if they play their songs, they probably have to play them maybe 10,000 times for them to make money off of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a whole lot per every time it's viewed on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, unless you get somebody like super popular, right? Because once you start hitting like the million views and
Then-
like
then
100,000, you start making some money
Then you
off
make
of.
some money.
Yeah. But first you have to be found. That's the
Yeah.
thing. That's like with this podcast. I think our average is about 40
Oh, yeah.
views, and like that's why we're continuously, because the more you do it, the more you get put in the algorithm, and then hopefully at one point it will just pick up some
Just explode.
just momentum, and then you'll be walking down the street one day and you'll be like, "Hey, I saw you on Air and Ask America," and you'll be like, "That's my
That was me.
that was me.
And my son-in-law.
That's my son-in-law." Yeah. So, as far as Elvis goes, because there's the joke, and I already know that you favor the Beatles over Elvis, right? So there's the thing from the Tarantino movie that goes through pop culture that you're either a Beatles fan or you're an Elvis fan,
Yeah.
and generally you can't be both.
Can be both.
So why do you like the Beatles over Elvis?
Well, I think to begin with, I grew up with him. Didn't really listen to Elvis that much. I mean, I saw him on Ed Sullivan because that was something you did when you were a kid. Your parents watched Ed Sullivan, Lawrence Welk, Porter Wagner, Dolly Parton. It's just something you did.
Right.
So when I got older, I was exposed more to the Beatles on the radio. probably heard Elvis on the radio. And it's not that I'm not an Elvis fan, but I just grew up with the Beatles. So.
Yeah. So just do you like even though he's considered the king of rock and roll, you would consider the Beatles a more efficient rock band just because they were a band, right?
They were a band, but to me, he had just as much talent that they did, if not more, because he could sing anything. He could sing gospel, country, rock. They were just basically rock. And for the first few years, it was like, I want to hold your hand, yeah, 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 and all that twist and shout.
Yeah.
Music got better in the later years. And then even after they broke up, I think their music got better.
Yeah, because they progressed as musicians, right? So
Yeah.
you would hope they wouldn't stay in the yeah, yeah, yeah stage,
Yeah.
because then they wouldn't be as great as people say they are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I acknowledge that they're probably the greatest. Are they the greatest band of all time, or is there somebody bigger than them?
Depends on who you talk to.
Okay, I was thinking as far as like record sales and stuff like that. I want to say that they're, I think, the biggest rock band of all time. I think it's either
It's
them or,
between them and the Rolling Stones.
yeah, I was about to say it's either
depending
them or
on
the
who
Stones.
you talk to.
Yeah, and then you have someone like, like my favorite artist of all time, Garth Brooks, right, who's sitting up there with all these, album sales. I think he is still number one. I think I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I still think he's number one of all time just in record sales. You have these people that have come around in a very close time frame, because the 50s and 90s really aren't that far. They really weren't that far apart, and then
Yeah.
now you have music that's like more throwaway. So it's like you'll have like these stars like Jelly Roll. He's somebody that is popular right now,
He's
but
popular, real popular
but
right
it
now.
seems like artists now, like, they burn out as fast as they show up. There's like no longevity to them. I could be wrong because I'm not in the music scene as much as I used to be.
Yeah.
Because like I'm still looking back and seeing that Bush is still making music. I'm like, oh, Bush is still making music. Good for
Yeah.
good for them. And
Yeah.
then like you'll see Limp Bizkit. You're like, hey, Limp Bizkit's still making music. Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Well, the Stones, after all these years, are still making
Yeah.
music.
Mick Jagger is like what?
They're 80-some years old.
Hey, Ozzy was on stage, like 2 weeks before he died, and
Yep.
he was, wasn't he mid-80s?
He had to be.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let him stand up
Yeah,
because they was afraid he'd fall down.
well, I'm sure he probably wasn't arguing with him about it, but
I don't know.
why it's a wild thing to think that all these old musicians are finally starting to pass, and then you have the Rolling Stones, and Mick Jagger looks as good as he did
Yeah.
like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
He's like thin as a rail with like a six-pack. I'm like, wow, because he
Yeah.
outlived who was the workout guy that passed away?
Oh,
Richard Simmons.
yeah.
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 So like Mick Jagger did the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
And I'm still here.
He's still alive. That's wild to me that Richard Simmons
Yeah.
is gone, but like Mick Jagger and some of the older
Yeah.
rockers are still here.
Well, Keith Richards looks like he death walking.
Yeah. And even I think every member of Aerosmith is still alive too.
Yeah, except Tyler's having problems with his voice.
Yeah, they're done. From what I understand, like they fully retired because he can't sing anymore.
Alicia likes him.
Oh, Stephen
Likes
Tyler.
his voice.
No,
She loves his voice.
I love Aerosmith.
Boy can sing.
Yeah, I have Get a Grip, which is one of their albums that's got quite a few hits on there. I had their greatest hits. I had Nine Lives. I had the Nine Lives, so I know that, I don't know how much you followed Aerosmith into the 90s, but they had an album called Nine Lives that had the song Pink, which was the biggest song that they had off that album, and they had another song called Fall in Love is Hard on the Knees. But that original CD that they released, the art on it was very controversial, and like I didn't know. I just heard Aerosmith had a new album. I went and bought it, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out that like I have the CD cover that ended up being banned because I guess the mom groups back then had them
Yeah.
threw a fit when they went into Walmart and saw that the art that was on there. So I actually have like the CD somewhere around this house of Aerosmith.
Probably
now.
worth some money.
Probably not, but I mean, it's just funny that sort of stuff was banned.
Well, like the Beatles had an album where they were, I guess, in doctors' outfits, but they were holding babies. I don't can't picture the album cover, but it was banned.
Because they were holding babies?
Yeah,
Why?
I can't remember
Babies
why
are
they
cute.
can't remember why they were banned it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the art, I can tell you the reason why. There it was like cats that were drawn with a woman's chest
Oh yeah.
exposed.
I remember the album you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So that's the one that I have. And I don't know, I just bought it. It was Nine Lives. It was Aerosmith that had the song Pink, right? Because that was a huge hit for
Yeah.
them. Huge hit. And then Fall in Love is Hard on the Knees. And then There's a Hole in My Soul was the third
Wow.
hit off of that album. And I want to say that Pink was the first. And then when The Hole in the Soul came out, before the CD came out, because before they would release a song weeks before the CD would come out,
To help the sales.
and then right before the CD would come out, they would release the secondary
Yeah.
track, and I think that's what they did, Pink, and then Hole in My Soul, and then I was like, yeah, because the music video to, now maybe it was Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. That's what I'm remembering, because the music video for that one
Yeah.
was this nerd that kept making these girls in this machine, kind of like that movie Weird Science, if you ever saw that movie.
Yeah.
Like, he kept making these girls to date him, and then like the jocks kept making them leave, so he just kept making it was a weird music video, but it was
Wow.
hilarious, yeah. But yeah, that was definitely a controversial one. So that's awesome that Alicia likes Steven Tyler. I know that.
She likes his voice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Dexter knows Dream On.
Oh yeah,
'cause
that's
that
probably
comes
their
on-
biggest hit.
Yeah, well, I
And
mean,
Walk This Way.
maybe Walk This Way. Do you know Walk This Way?
Yeah, it's like walk this way.
Yeah.
He knows
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, I mean, so like for me, the reason why I keep it on the 70s channel is because I know I don't have to worry about the topics that they sing about. I don't have to worry about the profanity level
Yeah,
on any of the
that's
songs.
true.
And it's just nice music.
Yep.
So that's why I keep it on the 70s channel. There's three channels that I listen to for the most part on Sirius. It's the 70s, then there's one that's called Deep Tracks, and then there's one called something Vinyl. I forget, but those are the three ones. Is Deep Tracks, which is basically 70s rock with a little bit of 80s mixed into
Yeah.
it. And then there's another one called something Vinyl. I can't believe I forgot it, but it's something Vinyl, and it's basically another 70s channel,
Yeah.
and then the actual 70s channel. That's what we listen to.
I like the 70s music, 60s, 70s, part of the 80s. After that, it's kind of died for me.
Yeah, they have channels on there that like 60s exclusive music,
Yep.
and then they went all the way back to the 50s, and then they kind of rearranged their channels. So I don't know. I could Google it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But like you can have they have music that is just 50s music, and I
Yep.
used to. If there wasn't anything on the 70s, then I would go to the 60s. If there's nothing on the 60s, I'd go to the 50s, and then at that point we were all out. I had to go back up to the 70s. But just listening to the style,
Yep.
the way that people sang back then,
Yep.
with like kind of like that, the really kind of stuff when they sang, is interesting.
Yep. Very cool.
But as far as you said number 2 was asking Alicia to marry you. So number 1 you said was your relationship with Christ.
Yep.
So like when did that occur in your life?
I remember that day because I was sitting in church with Leisha. It was June 1st, 1975. Never forget that day, and I felt like I needed to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd grown up in church, had been raised Catholic, but you heard a lot from people you profess, but you don't practice.
Right.
And I guess I was professing Catholic, but not a practicing Catholic. And I think even in the church today, you got people the same way.
Only worse now.
Yeah, profess but don't practice.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember it just felt a tugging, like we all did, just like you need to go down there. And
So it was while you were dating Alicia that you got saved?
yep,
Okay, nice.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
because I was ornery when I was younger.
Yeah.
She was a rebel and I was ornery.
Perfect match.
I mean, yeah.
Perfect match. So you heard the sermon, you felt the, as people have described it, the woo of the Holy
Oh,
Spirit,
absolutely.
or the pull, however you want to say it, where
Yeah.
like you felt that God convicted you, like, hey, you are not saved. You need to
Yeah.
go get this taken care of, like right now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there have been people that have said it, and I kind of agree with it. Like it didn't really take you walking all the way down the aisle, like you accepting the woo of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That was like the you going out there to say, okay, yeah, I understand who Jesus is
Yeah,
and what he did for me and what I need to start doing for him.
yeah. And the weird thing after that, I was in a band at the time. And after I got saved, I just refused to play with them anymore.
Well, wow, okay.
It's just, and I made them mad, and I probably didn't treat them the way I should have because they wanted to borrow my amp, and I didn't really want them to do it. It's like, I can't do this. Can we borrow your amp? No. But, 40 years later, we made peace, and I apologized. I said, I apologize. I should have let you use the amp. It wasn't a big deal. I wasn't playing, so what difference did it make?
Right.
But
Well,
I quit at the time.
yeah, well, it's possibly, I don't know how well you remember the event. It could have been a Holy Spirit thing
Yeah.
telling you, hey, now you're quitting. You are going to fully secede from this band
Yep.
because you don't know. Like, what if giving them that amp, had you continue that relationship even
Yeah.
further, and then all of a sudden you got to go pick up your amp, and then you're playing in
Next
the
thing,
band.
I'm back in the band.
Yeah.
Come on, dude, one more time.
Right, exactly. And then you're like, hey, what's one more
It
play?
won't hurt, yeah.
What's one more play,
Yeah.
right? Then you don't know where the devil could have latched onto you
That's
from
true.
there. So, but that's cool that y'all were able to mend those fences.
Yeah.
Did they ever try to become anything, or did they end up breaking up?
They wound up breaking up. They probably played a few more times after that. I don't really know. I mean, our lead singer, you mentioned Elvis, but he's probably a bigger Elvis fan than Alicia, if there is such a thing. Because everything he sang as Elvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whether it was Led Zeppelin or Creedence, it was Elvis.
That's wild.
Elvis does Creedence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born on the Bayou, sung as
Yeah.
Elvis would have
Oh,
been.
man.
Would have been amazing to hear.
Yeah.
Born on the Bayou, because he sang
Yeah.
it with that accent himself, right? So now
Yeah.
now you throw in Elvis's accent and the way that he sang. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, if I
to
really
hear.
had an accent.
So, but yeah, so you walked down the aisle, and was it Alicia's dad that was preaching that, or was it a different pastor at the time?
It was our pastor at the time. Won't mention names, but
Yeah.
he was a pastor's pastor because he would call us every Sunday morning and forgive my voice, but at 9:45, we'll be in Sunday school at 9:45. He'd call us every Sunday morning and sing
What?
that on the phone.
What?
It's like, okay, we'll be there.
So did he call everybody at the church and
I
do
don't know
that?
if he called everybody, but he called us.
That's wild to
Yeah,
me.
he was cool.
Imagine
First
that.
good pastor I
Yeah.
had.
Well, and the newest version that would be if like a pastor texts you every week at 9:45.
Yeah, it's like, you're going to be there, right?
I just send out a mass text every week at 9:45 instead of calling and singing to them.
That would be cool.
Maybe you should tell that story to PT and say, hey, can you do me a favor?
Send me a text
Can,
every Sunday
can
morning.
you call? No. Can you call and sing to me every
Oh, yeah.
every Sunday at 9:45? But yeah, no. Actually, I guess at 9:45 he would be up on the pulpit at that
Yeah.
point. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you shared that story. But one of the things that you've watched our show. I think you've watched every episode because I think you told me you're like, I'm a couple episodes behind, so that means you've watched them. So you know that I ask two things. One, let's see if this is going to work. Have you seen Face Off and Con Air?
I have.
Have you seen both of them?
I've seen both of them.
Okay, so all right, here we go. This is you're the first person in like 2 episodes that's seen both of them. So like, which one is your favorite and why?
I think Face Off, if I remember right, because where they switched identities.
They switch faces.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that one. That was kind of interesting.
Over Con Air.
over Con Air.
Yeah.
Con Air it had action, but I think Face Off was better.
Okay, so that puts us like what, 4-0, something like that.
No, I'm pretty sure Chris.
Oh, the last. Okay, so
Chris B picks.
it's like 3-1.
It's 3.
We need to have we need to put something on the wall where it says like Face Off, and then we should put like some sort of thing on there.
So I'm the odd duck, right?
Huh?
I'm the odd duck.
No. You're in the majority. So there's only been, I think it was the last Chris that we had
Yeah.
on there, the former Marine guy
Yeah.
who liked Con Air better. So, but I want to say that it's 3-1 in favor of Face Off. So
It was a good movie.
I
I
don't-
enjoyed it.
I don't-
Nicolas Cage. What was it? Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
yeah, they switched faces.
Yeah.
Sean Archer cast
That
for
was
Troy. Yeah,
weird.
hey, it's a '90s movie. They had some weird original concepts back then,
Yeah.
right? So take the idea and run with it.
Yeah.
Because do we want to see Face Off, or do we want to see another remake of Snow White or some other movie that we've seen 100 times? I want to see people switch faces and fight each other with guns.
Yeah, that's-
so
One thing movies are doing more and more nowadays is remakes.
yeah.
It's like, come on, guys, make originals.
Yeah, I think what's happening, so to be honest with you, and I think I had a similar conversation with Brett on this one, is right now I'm 44, right? So, my generation right now has the money. So all of the stuff that is being made is made for me.
Yeah.
So they're remaking all the stuff that's important to my generation because we have the expendable cash. And I told Brett, I said, hold on, because here in a couple of years, they're going to start making everything that is geared toward you and your generation. Because, they're still making, like, He-Man's about to come out. You
Yep.
know, all the stuff that was out whenever I was a kid is now starting to either be remade or turned into movies or something like that. So I just told them, hold on. And right now we're in the remake stage. So I think when Brett's generation gets a little bit older,
Yeah.
because he's 25, I think we'll probably start seeing like Ben 10 stuff. Or I know you don't know what Ben. Do you remember what Ben 10 was? Okay, because I couldn't remember if you were part of all that Ben 10 stuff with Brett or not. But it's just a cartoon that was
okay.
on when he was around. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I totally agree. But ultimately, we're going to say it's 3-1 Face Off, and maybe we'll get some sort of digital thing here or something to where,
Scorekeeper.
so every single time I can like figure out a way to press a button, or Dexter can press a button over there and it'll say 3-4 or 3-2, and we'll keep up the timer. So the other thing, of course, I like to ask is like words of wisdom. So like you've lived a long, phenomenal, awesome marriage, right? You're 50, going on 51 years of marriage, and you've had God in the center of y'all's relationship the entire time. You've raised 2 kids. You have a beautiful daughter that I've been married to for 20 years. So like, some words of wisdom to the people that could be listening, because, the thing about YouTube is, people could stumble across this a year from now, 2 years from now,
Yeah.
10 years from now, right? And the words of wisdom can help out anybody that makes it this far. So what do you got for them?
I guess the biggest thing that I would tell everybody is let people know how you feel. I think we become a generation that's afraid to tell people how we feel. That's like Chrissy and, all of you. I try to tell you I love you because tomorrow I may not be able to tell you I love you.
Yeah.
And I don't want there to ever be a doubt that I love you. Don't be afraid to express your feelings. Don't be afraid to take chances. Leisha and I our heart is music.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up your dream. Because I only think the dream ends when God himself closes that door so he can open a better one. So whatever your dream is, don't give up on it.
Yeah.
Just because it looks like the door's closed at this time doesn't mean it'll be closed forever. Like, perfect example of that's the members of Petra. They're all my age or older, and they're still doing what God called them to do, which I think is cool, because I don't think God has an age where he says, I can't use you anymore.
Right.
maybe that's oversimplifying it, but I believe as long as you're breathing, he can use you.
100%.
Yeah, so that's
Paul
what,
was I think he was what in like his 70s when
Yeah.
he finally got executed. He was
Yeah.
still preaching the gospel, and he had all the things that happened to
Yeah.
him. So yeah, because you met Petra what a couple months ago, 4 or 5 months ago.
I
You
met
saw
him, saw him in June.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember you taking the pictures with him.
Yep.
So
And it's kind of a, I don't want to use, some of the musicians I liked, I'll say it that way, because I think as Christians we can fall into the habit of putting musicians on pedestals, putting preachers on pedestals, when the only one that really needs to be on the pedestal is Jesus.
yeah, totally agree.
But I talked to them just like I talked to you. They're down to earth. To part an expression, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like we do. But
Yeah.
that's pretty cool to see that they're still, following what God called them to do. And it's kind of off the subject, but this morning, Blair was awesome.
Yeah,
And Alicia and I have talked about Blair that we really feel he's got a deep calling on his life. That this morning might have been a glimpse of what's to come. But what I liked about him, he goes, I just want to do what he wants me to do.
yeah,
And I thought, wow, he's got it together. At 25, I didn't have it together. But I thought that was so cool.
yeah. His sermon this morning was off the chain.
It was
Like, hopefully, because you saw the 11 o'clock sermon.
Yeah.
We were in the 9 a.m. and I'm sure he probably used the same analogy, but something I'm going to steal from him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using. I got to find out the name, and you may know the name of the baseball player, the one that hit the home run. The analogy that he used, where you can hit a home run, but if you missed first base, you're still
you're
out.
out, yeah.
So you can preach, you can teach, you can know the Bible, but if you miss the cross, you're out. Dude, that was amazing.
That's what Christianity is
Yeah.
all about. Your
But-
focus is Christ on the cross.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to send him a message later on just to say, "Hey, I'm not just telling you this, but like I really think that today's message was really, really cool
Yeah.
and really awesome." So to encourage him, because him and I talk about movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what our relationship is primarily about. It never goes too deep into it because I don't know how much that I can say to him because like I don't know. I really just don't. I don't want to overstep the boundaries and offend anybody or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I was definitely planning on sending something to him about the message, but because it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to send something to PT too. I'm sure he watched it and he probably helped him put
Oh,
the
absolutely.
stuff together. But yeah, it was great, and I'm hoping to have Blair on here next week.
Oh, cool.
Jackson already agreed to come on there, so maybe I can have Jackson one, like on Tuesday, and then Thursday
Yeah.
Blair or something. We'll definitely get it figured out, but it'll be awesome because we have a lot in common when it comes to movies, especially the superhero kind, right?
Yep.
So, all right, one last question, and then we'll get you out of here. Batman. I guess I shouldn't just say Batman. You don't have to say Batman, but who is your favorite superhero and why? If you have one, you may not even have one. You say superheroes are for chumps. You can
Well,
even say that.
The one I remember, two. I remember Superman growing up, the original Superman.
George Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Batman from '66, which you look
Adam
back on
West.
it now and you go, why did I ever watch that?
Because it was Batman.
Because it was Batman. But, yeah. Probably Batman because he doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah.
He does it with toys, as the Joker said. But he was a human just like us.
Yeah.
But he used it for good.
Tragedy turned into a promise that turned into a man that devoted his life to turning his body and mind into a weapon to fight demigods. Is
Yep.
basically what Batman is, and
Yep.
that's part of the reason why I like him too.
Yep.
But all right, Weldon, I appreciate you coming here and sharing some of the origin stories that even I didn't know about you and Leisha. So I really appreciate you coming on and being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun.
So what's it like? Final question. I know I just said final question, but now that you've done a podcast, like, are you a veteran now? You know how to you know how to do it?
I enjoyed it. I mean, being a musician, it'd be nice to have one where you talk nothing about music. Everything, nothing but music.
Yeah.
I'll say it right in a minute. Because some of the best relationships I have are with musicians.
Yeah.
We talked about Aaron earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Alicia and Chrissy are at the top of the list. I mean, one of the proudest moments, if I can say that, was just worshiping Jesus through music with them.
Yeah. For 8 years.
Yeah, and probably the thing I miss the most is that.
Yeah. Yep.
But God has a plan. It's
He
just
does.
for me to be patient.
You have all eternity to worship with them.
Yep, that's the joke, because I'm sure you've heard it, but if you can't worship Jesus now, you're going to really feel out of place in heaven,
Yeah.
because that's all that's going to happen up there.
True. All right. Once again, thanks for being on the show, and then maybe we'll have you back and have like an all music. Even though I think music kind of dominated our conversation,
Yeah, for
maybe we
the
can have
most part.
we can have an all music conversation.
See, you know things that other people don't know, but pretty soon everybody will know if they watch the podcast.
It's true. All right. Well, this has been Aaron Ask America. Like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. We're trying to get out of the DFW area. Thanks for watching.
Aaron Ask America, we're talking real life. Truth, love, and struggle, no filters, no hype. From the heart of the people to the soul of the land, he's asking the questions you'll understand.